How's it going? Today I'm going to take you with me as I journey down the coast, the Mediterranean coast of Spain, looking for possibly where I would look further to invest. So we're going to start in the towns of Moreira and Calpe, just about an hour and a half south of Valencia, Spain. Now, Moreira is really upper class, reminds me of like La Jolla in the San Diego area, and Calpe is slightly more middle class. And as you can see here, this is Moreira, the beach, and it's a really nice place, loaded with English expats. Really well-to-do place in Calpe, but expensive. You won't find anything under 100 grand, 120 grand here. And Calpe is a nice place, but it's kind of dead for a good part of the year, as you can see here. In the summertime, it really picks up, but it's also really hot too. So again, Calpe, not so sure if it would be for me either as an investor, because it's very seasonal. Now, Benidorm, heading to the south a little bit. Benidorm is kind of where like the lower middle class English come to party, kind of like where the Americans go to Cancun or Mazatlan in Mexico, kind of similar. Really nice beaches and a pretty interesting party scene and drinking. If that's what you're into, it's not really my cup of tea, so to speak. But you can see the streets of Benidorm here and kind of get the flavor for what type of scene it is. You know, the fanny pack wearing tourists that really don't go anywhere else and are just interested in one thing: drinking and getting drunk. It would be really good for like a specialty restaurant or bar type of business, in my opinion. But yeah, to live, I'm not so sure. It's also much more expensive to buy, unless you want to buy with, as they say in Spain, the gitanos, kind of in those towers on the edge of town that probably should be bulldozed any year now. There's another look from the side of Benidorm. You know, pretty mild weather even in the wintertime. And now, as we head further south, you know, Alicante and Cartagena, not much to see, no beaches, really commercial towns, but this is the town of Mojacar. It's an old Moorish, pretty much more or less abandoned town, touristy town, all whitewashed buildings built into the hillside. And then there's a nice seaside promenade or boardwalk as well, but there's just not much going on. I know a lot of English tourists kind of like the expats kind of like the area, but I'm not a huge fan. It's just kind of a little too low-key for me. Some of the beaches are pretty nice, though. And as we further head south to the small city of Almeria, it's another commercial hub, like Little Morocco, kind of reminded me. A lot of streets that look like this, pretty much, no beach. And outside of the city are a lot of these olive groves that you can see here, that just go on and on for miles and miles. And other towns that on the surface might look kind of deserted like this one, but when you start walking the streets, you see they're actually they can be quite lively. And as we head further south to Malaga, this town is super lively, super happening, tons of tourists, a lot of archaeological monuments like the one we just saw there, and a lot of really nice, well-kept parks and buildings that look like this right on the seaside boardwalk, which is really nice. A great place to take a walk or a jog. Very safe too. I felt very safe in Malaga. It might be a little too busy for some of us. As far as rents go, you're going to be hard pressed to find anything near the ocean for under $900. So it's definitely not cheap. So it's a little more pricey. Now Marbella, heading further south, is a smaller city. Really happening, cool little city. I really liked it, but also higher price, just like Malaga. And again, whitewashed architecture and a really nice beach, and even mild weather, even in December, January. t-shirt and shorts weather, so it was quite comfortable to say the least. And that's going to look at the boardwalk there with the ocean to our right. And if we head even further south here to Gibraltar, I'm sure a lot of us may have had some curiosity about Gibraltar. I know I did, visiting other English outposts like Macau and Hong Kong, which are really happening. But this place, man, it's worth just a half day. Not much going on at all. And I thought maybe that town next to Gibraltar, La Linea in Spain, would be possibly an interesting place to invest. But not really. It's pretty rough. It's kind of rough as soon as you cross that border into Gibraltar and into Spain. I mean, it's quite rough over there. So again, Gibraltar, you can see most of it in about an hour walking or two. So again, not really probably where most of us would want to live, especially due to the higher cost of living, being an English colony still. And so for me, my choice would be Calpe of all the places I visited on the south coast, going from Valencia all the way down to Cadiz and Gibraltar. I didn't touch much on Cadiz because it's more the Atlantic side, so it's a different style of beach. Also, if I had a choice, it'd be the Mediterranean. Now, why would I choose Calpe? Well, it's closest to the ideal cap rate for me, as I always look for minimum a 12 cap or a 12% return on investment when I invest in real estate. And on the south coast of Spain, that's hard to find right now, and it just makes more sense to rent, similar to a place like where I live full-time in Ecuador. For instance, in Calpe is the closest to the 12 cap I could find, was about 8 or 9 cap. There you can find apartments with ocean views to buy starting around $85,000, but you can only rent them for probably around $650 a month. You might be able to get more as an Airbnb, but I try not to take that into consideration because Airbnb revenue is so variable. I know because I'm in the business myself. So again, I look, when I value property, I look at what it could reasonably get on a long-term basis when I'm valuing property. And I always look to the forward, to the future when I value property, to kind of a future cash flows discounted back to the present model, similar to how you may look at stock valuation as well. So again, I found better places in both Spain and the U.S. to invest currently than the south coast of Spain, but it was worth a look for me, and if I had to choose a place to dig deeper in, it would probably be Calpe. It is very seasonal, like I mentioned before, and it is very quiet, especially in the low season, so it might not be a good revenue generator, but I certainly do like the area to like winter for 3 months occasionally. Just really nice mild weather, not many people in the winter time. In the summertime it's hot and packed, so probably wouldn't like it much then. But and obviously rents are super cheap, so and a lot of things are really cheap in the off season too. So for me it might be an off season place to hang out and rent cheaply near the ocean. And for mild weather. But to invest for now, I would stay tuned to this channel because I think I've found better places, and I'll be sharing them with you as we go forward on this channel. I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button below. Take care.